So what are we going to do about this 90-day pause that Trump has put on America to stop tariffs? Now, we don't know what's going to happen after that 90-day period, but I think I got two solid things as to what you could do right now to set yourself up to go against these tariffs or to help yourself be in the best position possible. Before we get into it, hit the subscribe button to get more content just like this. Number one, Trump still has tariffs against China, and he has eliminated the other tariffs on the other countries. Now, why do you think he did that? Well, he makes the claim that he wants to encourage manufacturing here in America because that will bolster more employment. Now, that is his ideology. That is the way he sees things. Now, to the contrary to that, the amount of time it's going to take to be able to get these manufacturing plants here up and going. When you think about permits, when you think about time of construction, when you think about building supplies may increase due to these tariffs. So there's a lot of things to consider when you're thinking about trying to increase manufacturing here that he claims will ultimately improve employment. Now, China does have a trade surplus with America. So what does this mean? It means that China is exporting more goods to America than we're exporting more goods to them. Now, for me, it doesn't really make sense as to why China has a retaliatory signal against America due to us putting tariffs on them. So when in fact they trade or export more goods to us than we export to them. So they're more hurt. They're going to be more hurt than us because they have a trade surplus and we have a trade deficit with them. Now, not saying that we won't get hurt from these tariffs that China has put upon us, because we do export, a lot of goods to China, but not nearly as many goods from China to America. So China got to be careful there. As we see what happened in the European countries, they've decided not to have any retaliatory tariffs against America since we initially said that we would have a tariff against them. She said, the EU leader said, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm willing to negotiate and I'm willing to come to some compromise. So therefore, we don't play this tit for tat game where we have a tariff war. I think China is in the same position where they can do the same thing. So therefore, the tariffs won't get to 145% against products coming from China. Now, another thing to consider is that if you have products and services that's coming from China, what do you think you need to do? Well, you got to be able to, number one, either you can go about it where you're going to take less profit to your company, or you're going to have to charge more profit, or you're going to have to charge a higher price to your consumers who is buying your products. Okay, now, what do you think you should do? Well, it depends on where you're at financially. I would try to pay off as much debt as possible right now. So therefore, you're not paying interest fees down the road. So keep your debt levels low. Don't take on new debt. Okay. Try to just maintain the debt that you have and pay it down as much as you can. And then depending on the type of business that you have, you can buy deeper into the products that you have. That's in fact, if you have the storage that can hold that capacity. So let's say if you're in the toys business, or if you're in the, cabinets business or whatever type of hardcore business or product business like that, maybe you could buy a little bit more, not too much, because the market may change and people may not buy that product or service. I get that. Not service, but buy that product. But you can buy a bit deeper into items you know for sure will sell well. Now, if you're in another business, let's say you're in the fish business and you have products that are being imported to America and you rely on those imports, and you don't like the fact that you cannot buy more because you can't buy more fish because fish spoils, right? So you can't buy deeper into fish. What's it going to do? Freeze it for 90 days and hope it stays fresh? You just can't do that. So in that case, I would suggest to in that case, think about other alternatives in your business that can bolster your sales. So if you're in the seasoning business, maybe you could buy deeper into that, or think about cutting costs across the board to help preserve some of your money so you don't buy so deep until we figure out what's going to happen after that 90-day period. Another thing to consider is that, you know, I was listening to NPR and they were talking about how there was a fisherman who said that actually the import the tariffs are actually good for his business, because now people domestically will buy his goods versus people exporting his goods.